Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Principal Self-Care Sundays. This is Dr. McGee with our Sunday ritual, okay? So this is for principals, man. This is for leaders. And as we get ready to tackle the week, I want to talk about our wellness, our healing. It's a big deal. And so as our leaders get ready to start our week, I want to just always come on Sundays and try to give us something to hold on to or to focus on as we go into the week. So this week, what we're going to focus on is finding ways to protect your integrity. And at the end of the day, sometimes we gotta let it go, right? So we can avoid this leadership TKO. And so what do I mean by that? All right, so as a leader, oftentimes the people that are in your care might feel it necessary to file a grievance. They go to the union, they look at the rules and see what's being violated, and a lot of times it's going to come to you, principal. It's going to come to you, leader. It's going to come to you, and you have to do something about it, right? So a lot of times those grievances are filed for many reasons. Sometimes they're absolutely legit because there's situations and things that happen at a building level or district level that's beyond you, and it's not always right, and it needs to be fixed immediately. Other times, grievances are filed by staff members who might fit in the category of being an underminer. They might be an underminer. They might be one of the people that are causing a toxic climate or culture or environment. It might be that. Whatever the case may be, you're the leader, and that's going to impact you some kind of way. And for me, as a leader, sometimes those grievances I take very personally. I'm at a stage where I know how to discern those two, but sometimes the energy, the emotion, the time, the environment, it hits here, and you have to be able to protect your integrity, because sometimes those grievances might affect your integrity. And that's what happened to me last week, a few weeks ago. And I felt like my character was being attacked. My integrity was being attacked. And I said, somebody needs to hear this, or I need to share it, or I need to get it off my chest, because I'm emotionally tied to the grievance that was filed and felt like it was personal. So here's what we got to do, man. We got to understand the underminers that are working behind the scenes, fabricating or creating negative energy about you because they don't rock with you as a leader, or there's a change that you're trying to implement, and what they're doing with this change is trying to figure out how to undermine that change. That's what they're trying to do. That was housekeeping trying to come in, and I'm not ready for that. So, see, wellness. I'm at a conference, and I'm really, I want to get this out as I get ready to check out soon. But I really want to get this out because self-wellness, self-care, and wellness is a prime this school year. I'm at the 120 conference out here in Chicago with Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, and we're finishing things up. And we talked about being healthy, so I'm gonna give you that one next week, baby. But being healthy, because I'm spending a lot of energy and time into my wellness this year, because it matters, right? I need to be ready for my team, my staff, my students, my families, my community. All right. So anyway, back to what I was saying about the changes that you're trying to implement. There might be an underminer. There might be that staff member that doesn't rock with you. It might be the staff member that's really trying to who's been there for a long time, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid, and they might just be hurt. And so how do you deal with the grievances that come to you, right? If these grievances or these people or this individual person is left unaddressed, it could create this toxic environment. And you don't want that as a leader. You don't want that as a building leader or principal, or you don't want that. All right. So one of the things we're going to do is talk about that today, is how to protect your integrity. Because for my situation, I really felt like it was directed towards me, and I didn't understand it, because I'm pretty vulnerable with my team. I'm pretty transparent, and we're trying to implement change. And what came about was this idea of letting me know if you're going to be out. Letting me know. Just let me know if you're going to be out, absent. We have a system where you can call in for subs and you put it in, and when you're taking personal days or sick days in the contract, yes, you don't have to let somebody know. You don't have to let the principal know certain things. It's just union jargon that it's whatever. My ask was, hey, shoot me a text or let me, send me an email. Let me know you're going to be out so I can prepare for the day coverage and who's going to do what. That turned into, the principal makes us sub on our prep hour and knocks on our door and sends us text messages and makes us sub. And that's absolutely what I do not do. I don't do that. I never have and I never will. I'll ask individuals, but I won't pressure you to do anything. If anything, if you don't do it, guess what? I'm going to go in the classroom and sub myself. We will figure it out with or without you. But I work hard to let my staff know that that's what I will do. I don't pressure anybody into a classroom. I never have. And I won't do that. But that's what was being portrayed to the union. This is what was being portrayed to my superintendent. This is what was being portrayed of how I operate in my building. And it is false. And it was an attack on my character. And my emotions took over. And so I had to deal with that. What am I going to do? How am I going to address this before it gets out of hand? And I'm going to tell you, I was upset. Because it's that's not who I am. So you're lying on my character that I worked so hard to build up. I built my integrity. I built my character to a point where this is not who I am. And you're not doing justice to anybody by spewing this to those who make decisions. The union president, the executive directors, the superintendent. And I'm not about to go out like that. Here's the thing, most of my staff, 95% of my staff, we're good. But this little piece is itching me. And it's bothering me and it's irritating me. So I have to figure out how to protect it. So what I did a little bit of research and I came across a quick little website that I thought spoke to it in a way that I could speak to it. Does that make sense? So vandermolen.com. I'm not even sure what type of website this is. I just started looking it up because I needed some resources and I needed to do some research. And Brian Dukes wrote this article, 5 Ways to Effectively Protect Your Integrity. Now, I think it comes from a spiritual base, right? A religious space. But the principles are the same. The principles are the same. So, the principles can be used in schools. It can be used in leadership. And I took 3 of the 5 and focused on it, where 2 of them I took. And then 1 I created on my own because I'm dealing with it, right? This is for us. This is for me too. So we're going to jump right into this. And as we do our Principal Self-Care Sundays, and if you've been doing this for a minute, and you've seen a couple of these, you know how we do it. All right. So Principal Self-Care Sundays, we know social emotional learning is a huge thing in education. And so I'm using some of those premises from Castle to talk about how we should take care of ourselves with the self-awareness, with the self-management, with the relationship skills, all those things that Castle talks about. I'm bringing it here and using the spin-off to talk about how to take care of ourselves as principals on Sunday before school starts. So let's jump right into this as we do our Self-Care Sunday this week. The goal is absolutely protecting your integrity. We want to protect your integrity. So as we're protecting our integrity, the first, and I'm gonna hit you with 3, just 3. You don't need a ton. Take 3 and move on. And that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna get off this call. So protecting your integrity. When things like this happens, a grievance is filed against you, something comes, an angry teacher comes to you, a parent, whenever. First thing you want to do, the first thing that we should focus on is to pause and pursue humility. Pause and pursue humility, right? We have the authority, we have the power, we have the position to be able to do whatever we want, and it's probably going to be justified in some way, shape, or form. So if you choose the road of anger and pushback and I'm going to combat what you're saying, that's fine. But what I'm asking is saying to pause, because once your energy gets involved, once your emotion gets involved, it can go all over the place, and it might not be able to be as controllable as if you go the humility route. Humility. So one, take time to take the humble road. Take the humble road first. So pause, take the humble road. This was especially hard for me because when my executive director called me and said, "Hey, listen, McGee, some of the staff are saying that, you make them sub, you send them a remind text to go into a classroom, you knock on their doors at prep hours and make them go into other classrooms." I was heated. So at the time, I didn't necessarily pause and pursue the humility road. But what I did do was I didn't respond right away, and I'm glad I didn't. You ever do that? You want to respond and you type that email, and the email is all wrong, and you don't send it out, and you give yourself time to process, because as a leader, you're responsible. So yeah, sure, you can go off and set the tone that way. But what I'm asking is, or what I'm saying is, as far as your self-care is concerned, pursue humility. Take the humble road first. What happened? What's going on? Why would they say this? Usually I have a vent session by myself and I go crazy. That's part of the pause. And then I pursue this humility. Okay, what do we need to do? Right? Number 2, keep your emotions in check. Keep your emotions in check. Keep your energy in check, because otherwise you're gonna go off. And that's all I need to say about that, because we all know this. We all have done it. So to protect yourself and your integrity, pause and pursue the humility route. They're emotional for a reason. They're doing this for whatever reason it is, but it's about you right now. So how are you gonna respond? Increase that self-awareness, pause, and pursue humility. New principle, I'm telling you. I don't care if you have pilot behavior. We talk about this in my building. If you have a driving personality and you want to get things done and you want to nip this in the bud, absolutely. But you might not want to come at it with the energy, with the demanding, with that force for this situation. Play the right role for the right situation. That's what leaders do. Otherwise, you can do it as administrator and say whatever you want. But I'm talking about leadership, not administration, not managing, leading. They're two different things. All right. So, number 1, pause and pursue humility. Number 2, shield your ear and your mind. I should have said ears. Shield your ears and your mind. Shield your ears and your mind. Number 1, you cannot always believe everything you hear at face value, because you're going to hear a lot. You got your ride or dies in the building. They're going to ride for you. They support you. Hey, did you know? And even though they're telling you, it might not be 100%, because we all know about the telephone game. So shield your ears, right? Make sure that you're taking in the as many facts as possible before you respond. So shield your ears. Don't believe everything you hear at face value. All right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes a grievance, like I said at the beginning, sometimes a grievance is not personal to you. It might be on the position or the situation. All right? Let's say your fire alarm doesn't work in the building. It doesn't work. And you're doing fire alarms and the building can't hear the fire alarms on the 3rd floor. They might file a grievance for that, and it has nothing to do with you. So please make sure that is something that you're taking into consideration, is that the grievance might not be about you. And that's okay. But how do you decipher that if your energy is in motion? So listen, protect your ears. Protect your mind. You know what's happening, what's going on, because you are a leader. But protect your ears. Protect your mind. All right? So when you protect your mind, stay focused on your values. Stay focused on your values. What are your values? Do you know what they are? Do you have them on your wall? Do you have your affirmations there? Because as the reminder to who you are and how you lead, you keep your emotions in check. You guard your mind, you guard your ears. So have your affirmations on the wall. What are those reminders? What's on your phone? Does your phone have something that reminds you of who you are? Does your phone have something there that says, this is who I am, these are my core values, and I don't sway for them because the environment changes, because it's rapid for leaders in the building. The environment changing all the time. What does that look like? All right, so stay focused on your affirmations, guard your ears, and guard your mind. Don't believe everything you hear, and make sure that you can keep your mind focused on your core values. All right, let's get into it. Last one. I want you to audit the situation. Take an audit. What do you mean? All right, you want to take time. You see that pause? Let the situation happen. Let the emotions pass. Let it go through. Let it happen. So you can process it. And then have a checks and balance system. Right? Do I need to pursue this further? If it's the fire alarm thing, there's a different way I pursue the fire alarm situation as opposed to the absence situation. One is kind of personal with my integrity is involved, and one is a building systems issue that needs to be addressed by those who can make decisions. Somebody needs to come fix this fire alarm. You should file a grievance for that, right? And so that's the check. Do I pursue this further? The balance is, do I need to do something about it? And what do I do about it? So absolutely address the individual that might be attacking your character. And there's a way to do that because they might be an underminer. And that is a whole different podcast, whole different conversation. But how do we address this individual? And how are you going to address that individual? Audit the situation. So that's what we're about. See, you do these three things, and it's going to start to protect your integrity. You pause and pursue humility. You shield your ears and your mind, and then you audit the situation. Give it some time, and then do some checks and balances to make sure things are right. This is nothing new. For any leader in any position. But at the end of the day, it's about self-management, because you got to manage yourself. We talk about this in Castle. We talk about this in social emotional learning. And if you're going to be that principal that's going to be a life changer, you have to find a way to protect your integrity so that you don't go crazy. Right? Does it make sense? I know it makes sense, right? So integrity is all about you and how you lead. And let me give you this before we get up out of here, because I know it's time to go. All right, here's our quote. Listen, when you are able to maintain your own highest standards of integrity, regardless of what others may do, you are destined for greatness. You are destined for greatness, and I see greatness in you. If you are a building leader, I see greatness in you. If you are a principal of a school, I see greatness in you. I don't care if it's elementary school, I don't care if it's middle school, high school, alternative school, small school, big school, urban school, rural school, suburban school. I don't care. You took on the helm of leadership at a time in this country when education is being attacked, and you're still here. I see greatness in you. And when you're able to maintain your own highest standards of integrity, regardless of what others might do, you are destined for greatness. And I know it, because I'm in there with you and I'm doing it. So listen, this is Dr. McGee saying, listen, I love you. I'm in there with you, and we are going to be the change makers that work with the change makers, that impacts the students directly and the families directly and the communities that we serve. And I'm telling you, there's always a way, but you gotta take care of you. You owe you. And man, where is it? Do I got the book? I'm in a hotel, y'all. I don't know if I have it, but listen, you owe it to yourself. Dr. Eric Thomas got a new book out called You Owe You. And I know we're busy, but if you have any book to get or read this year, it's this one. You Owe You. Take care of yourself, principal. I love you. Take care of yourself, leader. I love you. I see greatness in you. Put your integrity out there first. Make sure your character's in order. Go ahead and lead like you're supposed to do, like you're designed to do. Hey, hit me up on any of these social media platforms down below. I would love to talk to you and make it work and connect. but we got to take care of ourselves. Don't spend time following a lot of people. Don't spend time listening to all these videos. Get what you need to get out, and spend time with you. All right? Let's make it happen. I love you. Let's make it a great day.